Everybody. This is Jessica with C&T Publishing, and today I am here with Karoline Hughes, the author of Stylehacking, So a Creative Wardrobe. Hi, Karoline.
Hello, nice to be here.
And we are super excited to have her because this book is a phenomenal example of everything you can do with garments and fabric and the act of turning one thing into something completely new. And I think that a lot of what she has to talk to about us today is especially relevant right now in times when a lot of people are looking to jazz up things that they might already have. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the book?
I sure would be happy to. It's here, and yes, so proud of it. And maybe, yes, some of you can recognize the front cover dress here behind me, because these things in the book, it's stuff that I wear, and it's also supposed to be something that you can use, for your everyday wear, and also make some special items for party and festive wear. But basically, yes, I've always been sewing, and when I started sewing at the age of 13, of course, I didn't have that much money, or we didn't have like a huge cabinet full of fabrics at home. So I did a lot of sewing with the thrifted fabrics, or just fabrics that I found in my nan's cabinet, like some old tablecloths or old pillowcases and duvet covers and such. And actually, several of the items in this book have also been made from thrifted secondhand fabrics, and I really want to say that that's a good way to get started, because if you are a new beginner sewist and you are a little bit nervous about starting cutting up in those expensive nice fabrics, and you it's a daunting world, and it can feel quite terrifying to start cutting and start sewing, because you can risk potentially doing something wrong. Then using those inexpensive used old fabrics is a really great way to start, and sometimes you can get really amazing things out of it. So it's also, it's just a fun extra way to add some different style to your look, to use fabric that you might not be able to go and get in a normal fabric store.
If you're looking for thrifted and secondhand fabric, what's something that you look for in a good, usable garment fabric?
Well, I am a bit of a hoarder, so I have like a huge I have boxes and shelves of a lot of stuff. And that's because I'm so fortunate that I can store things here at home. So I'm just lucky, and I know that. And I look at colors, prints, and textures, like good quality. If I go with a specific garment in mind, of course I will look for something that I can make that from. If I need a dress for a party, I will look at something with that specifically in mind. But I also just like to shop for my shelves, to shop for my stash, because suddenly you then, a week later, you get a new idea, and then it's just really nice to go and be able to pull it out of a box, or take it out of a drawer, because you've already got it. So I like to do that, because yes, if you regret it, then it's not that easy to go back and get it. It's not like you can, when you go to the fabric store and there's a roll that has 50 yards of the same print. And if you didn't get it, well, you can come back in 2 weeks and there'll probably be more of it. But when you go to the thrift stores, you have to risk it sometimes. And if something speaks to you, if you really love the texture, love the quality, love the color, then I would suggest just buy it. And then I'm sure you'll find a way to make something with it at some point. And if not, then it will go into circulation again. You'll maybe donate it to a friend, or do something else with it.
And if you're thrifting garments to alter or add to or change up somehow, what do you really look for in a garment that you're just finding on the rack?
Well, of course, it's good to look for something that has some width or some length to it, because the smaller the garment, the smaller an item you have to make. So, I've often bought just normal sized clothing, and then turned them into to garments for my kids. That was something I did a lot when they were smaller. I would take buy different things at the thrift store, and you could also maybe find something, even though it had a little hole, or it had a spot or something that you couldn't get rid of. You could still cut around it, because when you make stuff for little ones, you don't need that much space. But I have some different piles here, so I just want to
I would
show
love
you.
to see some.
Of course, this is some different duvet covers, some bedding material that I have gotten. And they're just, most of them are cotton, or very close to 100% cotton blend. So you can make so many things with them. It's nice woven material. It's good for skirts, tops, trousers, kimonos, so many things. And there, yeah, there's lots of yardage. There's many meters in these kinds of fabrics. So that's really good. But of course, that's yeah, it's a woven material, and it kind of it folds like cotton, and it folds like cotton, drapes like cotton. So it's not suitable for all kinds of garments. Um, Another thing that I think is always a good buy that I always look for are different shawls,
Oh,
scarves.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also something that I already had quite a lot in my stash. I found out because I used to shop much more than I do now, of course, and I used to work in fashion. So it was one of those things that you'd always just somebody threw a scarf onto the pile of the stuff that you got, and it was fine. You just brought it along. So there are a lot of these in the thrift shops, and they're very inexpensive, and often they have such nice colors, nice patterns, and also have quite a bit of material. And they can be used like a viscose or also like a cotton. They can be used almost like a silk sometimes, depending on the quality and the wash. And as you can see here, I've just taken two examples. So these are two of the basic woven tops from the book, where it's simply just it's
Love that
just like
one.
the fabric in this is amazing. And it's a basic top that's just in one piece, so there's no attached sleeves, there isn't anything. It's like one of the most simple styles to make. And I actually made this top from some fabric that I bought, and because I only got a little sample, I only got a little bit, it was a little bit too cropped, a little bit too short for me. So I added a scarf as a
Oh,
as a skirt part to it. And it's I could have also just stitched this scarf into a skirt on its own, but this was a nice way to combine them, and I love color and print matching this way. And then it's so nice with a cardigan or a jumper or a sweater on top.
beautiful.
And it's like one of those things, you can also find a top in the thrift shop that's maybe too short, that doesn't fit exactly, but then you can perhaps add something else to it. And the same with this. This is then a cotton, like almost like a duvet cover material. And then I've added a thicker scarf material here because, of course, it's quite important to think about the qualities that you combine. So here I have a bit thicker type of quality for both of them, and here is a lighter, more silky quality for both of them. So you style the two types of materials together so they drape in the same way. But I love that it doesn't need to match perfectly, that you can like use colors matched with other colors, and it's just fun.
It looks
Yeah, I
so
enjoy it.
intentional in the end result that you wouldn't know that they were two different pieces to begin with. They look so
Well, thanks for
coordinated.
saying that. But yeah, color and print mixing is just fun. And yeah, so I'm always on the lookout for nice scarves, and also these thicker. Yeah, they're actually really warm and really nice. They can be made into vests or little cardigans, or yeah, you can add. You can stitch several of them together and make ponchos. So they're just good to start out with, and you can make really nice things with them. But if you happen to make a mistake or you're still just practicing, it doesn't hurt as much as when you bought something really pricey. And it's a different way to experiment, and just you can be a little bit more courageous because you're not so scared about wasting.
Absolutely. And it's giving a second life to something that, could have just ended up in a landfill.
Well, that's true. I have worked in the business of landfill. I want to say I've worked in a sorting plant, and it was really horrible to see how much just went out. And that's also why I have a big stash of things, because I was allowed to bring the stuff home, so I did.
We have some really wonderful places here, creative reuse societies that take in extra fabric and samples and swatches from places, and you can just come in and buy them and use them for projects. And I think it gives people this amazing opportunity to breathe new life into things and create art out of things that would otherwise be discarded. And it's just a great direction for fashion to be going in. It's the opposite of fast fashion.
Yes, and it also needs to go in that direction, and I think it's lovely that so many more companies are, yeah, their eyes are being open to this issue. And yeah, I also find a lot of places, yeah, like different laundry services and those kind of places. They actually also offer fabrics for donation for art and design school students, and it's just lovely to see that the first option isn't to throw it out, but that there is a thought to actually, oh, who can use this, who can get something good out of it.
You know, the sustainability factor is incredible, but also the creativity and the benefit socially, mentally, creatively, like just the ability to take something and divert it and make it into art is just very empowering, I think, to you as a creator, and to, especially if you can just teach other people on materials that are accessible to them, you're opening doors to people that would may have not have had access otherwise.
That's true. Yeah. I do a lot of courses and workshops, and that's definitely also with the focus of bringing I usually say, like, bring your stuff that you don't have any use for anymore, some clothes that you don't really wear, or some fabrics that you don't want to make anything of, and then to see how other people then find those things and think, that those are new treasures to them, and they actually make something really really pretty out of them, and that is so beneficial for all to see, and just really really a joy.
And I think the book really breaks down the process of taking an item and the pattern making process. And if you did, you had some patterns that you wanted to show that I think are really amazingly explanatory of what this book is about.
Well, I've just that's one legging leg, and then I've got the other one. They're quite big. These are my leggings. So the easy thing is that with this book, that you create these templates from your own garments that you have. So if you've made this once, you don't need to make that one again. And the same way, you can do that with a t-shirt template and the jumper sweater template, and then makes it really easy. And then the book describes what you need to do if you then need to make a new pair of leggings from this, like how much seam allowance do you need to add, how much extra do you need to add at the waist, whether you want to make a tubing waistline or you want to add some decorative elastic tape. And in that way, you can make so many different types of styles, and you can make pretty much everything from the book, because there will be a simple version of the garment that you want to make. And then if you want to move on from that and do something more elaborate or something more fitted, then you've had a good teaching ground. You've had a good like some you tried some of the basic things, which is just always a good thing to start with.
Yeah, it's the possibility of creating literally a whole wardrobe, as the title said. There's the ability to create just about any item that you can think of. Do you have a favorite project in the book?
They're all favorite, and I think depending on also the season. Like right now, I'm actually wearing a pair of the trousers as well from the book. I'm wearing the wrap top, which is very cool, also because of the fabric, and then a pair of trousers. And I made them a little bit bigger than my size for the photo shoot. And then I just thought, okay, I love this material so much, so I added. Yeah, thanks. So I simply just made the waist elastic a little bit smaller, and then took that off, and then I didn't alter anything else. So they're super wide and comfy. And of course, you can also just do that whatever size you are, that you learn in the book how much seam allowance you need to add, with whether you want them larger or more tightly fitted. And right now they're my favorite because they're comfy, and I think they look, I look a little bit dressed up, and that's nice, but I don't, I don't feel uncomfortable at all. And that's just the main thing.
Looking put
And
together, but with the relaxed fit. It's hard to find
exactly.
both, but it's a stunning pattern, and I think people are going to really love what the book has to offer.
That's good. Like I just hope to inspire people. I really do. And from live sewing events and being out and meeting students and like people who are interested in this field, and actually being able to teach them the same methods that are shown in the book, has just really made me aware that this is a way for beginners, or for perhaps people who've been sewing 20 years ago but then has given up, then they have forgotten. And I kind of feel there's a big group of people who own sewing machines and who maybe once did a little bit of sewing, but then they've gotten so far away from it, and they're almost scared to begin again, because this sewing machine seems like such a it's almost like a scary animal that they are worried about, what will it do. So this will just be a good book for all of those to get started again and to experience that pleasure and the pride and the joy and like the amazing feeling that you've made something and it was quite, simple and it looks great, and you've chosen the fabric, you've made the little design tweaks exactly to get it how you wanted it to be, and it's just I've seen how happy people get. So that's a pleasure to think that there'll be somebody sitting at home reading this, marking out a template, cutting some fabric and stitching something up, and being that happy is basically just my dream.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. It's been amazing to have you. And everyone, the book Style Hacking, So a Creative Wardrobe is now available on the CNT website. And Karoline, thank you again for joining us.
You're welcome anytime. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you. Have a great one.